Things in here? You gotta back up, man. Oh, man.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Here I am back in January of last year. I just couldn't keep the weight off no matter how many different exercise programs I tried. Now I'm down to my ideal weight, and it's never been easier. All I had to do was vote blue, no matter who. Every time I went to the grocery store, I always had so many different options to choose from. But now I'm lucky if I can even fill my basket up. I used to be really unhealthy, never got that much exercise. But now that I can't afford to put gas in my car, I have to walk to work. And as an added bonus, I don't have to worry about being carjacked anymore. So you can ditch Tybo and start saying Ty Joe.
Come on, man.
And then?
They made it quite clear. They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President.
You fucking retarded scumbag.
Woraufhin dann der stellvertretende Fraktionschef das Parlament mit den Worten verließ, I'm fucking furious and I don't fucking care anymore.
The right that I pushed hard and it finally got changed, the married couples in the privacy of their bedroom, I'm thinking about the Dobbs decision. Imagine, well, I'll get to that in a second.
What the fuck did you just say, Joey?
The right that I pushed hard and it finally got changed, the married couples in the privacy of their bedroom.
You are a fucking idiot.
Tim Ryan in Ohio said he doesn't want you there. Warnock said wouldn't say. Do you think they're making a mistake?
No, there are 16 there I've already gone in for yet, and a lot more are asked. Another 20 or so. So I'm going to be going in.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
You don't have to go to hell. You're in hell. This is hell. This is hell. This is hell.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Right.
Then do and homelessness and all that.
And now, the voice you've been waiting for.
There is a secret zone at the center of the world, and its sound is like razors through flesh. I'm here to turn up the volume.
I'm kind of retarded.
Well, some of these dumb shit climate activists are at it again. This time they glued themselves to the floor of a car show at the Porsche Pavilion. This was a few days ago in Germany. They strolled in and superglued their hands to the floor, and Volkswagen, who owns Porsche, said, hey, you know what? We respect your right to protest. And they left him there. And they turned the heat off. But the best and most hilarious part is, after a few hours, the protesters started complaining that Volkswagen didn't provide them with a bowl or something so that they can pee and poop in it. So let me get this straight. You glued yourself to the floor because you have to do something about the climate crisis without any thought whatsoever as to what happens next.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
Yeah, I'd say it's the perfect irony, because you couldn't even figure out a few hours in advance planning out possible consequences, repercussions, and things that might be coming down the pike. Kinda the same way that you just want everybody to stop using fossil fuels without any thought for possible consequences and repercussions and what that might look like in even the near and midterm. I couldn't even have scripted this to go better. We've also still got this trend of seemingly young and healthy people just suddenly and unexpectedly dropping dead. And doctors are just baffled, gobsmacked, bewildered. They cannot figure out what's going on. I mean, some of these people are world-class athletes. Some of them don't get much exercise and live off a DoorDash. Some of them are smokers, some are not. If only there were some way to tie all of these deaths together, something that all these people from different walks of life had in common. What would that be?
That's a mystery.
And in completely unrelated news, the CDC just voted unanimously on Thursday to add the COVID vaccine to the list of recommended scheduled vaccines, meaning that they're going to try to keep kids out of public schools if they don't get it. Luckily for people that live in Florida, the governor immediately came out and said, yeah, we're not doing that. And I have a feeling in other places that the religious exemptions are about to go through the roof. There's about to be a whole lot of people suddenly finding Jesus. And it's so hard to imagine why.
I just want to make sure that everyone has the protection provided by that vaccine.
In other news, we're 2 weeks out from the midterms, and historically, when you've got a first-term president who has a lower than 50% approval rating, that party ends up losing big time. It happened under Trump in 2018, it happened under Obama in 2010. It was different with Bush back in 2002 because we had 9/11 just happen and we went to war, so that completely changed that paradigm. They seem to be getting pretty desperate right now, grasping at straws, doing a full court press on the one issue that they feel like is a winner for them, which is Roe versus Wade being overturned. Unfortunately for them, that strategy doesn't seem to be working so well.
We've talked so much all year about the economy and inflation being important issues. How about this? This is a New York Times poll, brand new here, asking voters what's the top issue on your mind this election. I haven't seen it this dramatic in a poll. Add the economy and inflation together. That is 44%. We're getting close to half of all respondents in this poll saying that's their top issue. Nothing else even cracks 10% right now. And we've talked about the Republicans, when it comes to the economy and inflation, having a pretty clear advantage in the polls.
Please, Spock, do me a favor. And don't say it's fascinating. No. But it is interesting.
I mean, when you've got people in a place like New York City turning on AOC, that's a bad sign.
Very classy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
And the way she handled this shows once again what an idiot she is. They're up there telling her, we didn't want the fucking war to happen and you voted for it and we're pissed off. And what is she? She just starts dancing. And then she throws on the fake little borderline mockery accent. It must be a rough pill to swallow for constituents in her district to come to the sudden realization that we sent her to Congress to represent us, and not only is she twice as dumb as shit, but she doesn't even fucking care about our concerns.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
And then out in Chicago, you got Mayor Beetlejuice going full-blown delusional.
And what I will say is to anyone who can hear me, we're not done yet. There's plenty of opportunity for folks to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, there are skeptics, and let's just face it, there are haters. But we're not deterred. We're going to keep rolling up our sleeves and doing the work because this is the right thing to do in this moment for us to make sure that the entirety of our city gets to prosper. That our children, no matter what zip code that they live in, get to see a city in their neighborhood that cares about them, that is doing everything that they can to bring good jobs, healthy alternatives, and to keep them safe.
You serious?
Violence erupted all across the city. There were 27 shooting incidents, 38 people were shot, and 8 people died.
Looks fine to me.
This is a siege. It's a goddamn siege.
And down in Georgia, you got Stacey Abrams showing what a tone-deaf half-wit she is.
I would assume, maybe incorrectly, but while abortion is an issue, it nowhere reaches the level of interest of voters in terms of the cost of gas, food, bread, milk, things like that. What can a governor, what could you do as governor to alleviate the concerns of Georgia voters about those livability, daily, hourly issues that they're confronted with?
Wait for it.
But let's be clear. Having children is why you're worried about your price for gas. It's why you're concerned about how much food costs.
And then you got Warnock, the senator running against Herschel Walker, giving a priceless response.
The economy is a top issue for them. Democrats have been in control of the White House, of Congress for the past 2 years. Inflation has soared. Why should Georgia voters give you another chance?
Wait for it. Here it comes. Almost there.
We are still in the throes of a pandemic that dragged on for more than 2 years.
Legendary!
Nancy Pelosi seems to be living in an alternate reality.
Yes, we need generational change. Of course we do. But in some cases, there's no substitute for experience. And I think that what we have been through with the legislation under the leadership of President Biden, who has done a spectacular job.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
A spectacular job.
He's had a better 2 years than most presidents that you can name, certainly in the recent generations. He has had a remarkable record.
That is one big pile of shit.
And even the First Lady, fucking doctor of education, Dr. Jill Biden gets booed at an Eagles game. So what does it all mean? What can we expect to see realistically with these midterms and moving forward? More on that after the break. Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing this video, or leaving a comment. Because every time you do nothing, Vladimir Putin will shoot another puppy.
Inflation hitting a 40-year high.
The latest report shows consumer prices soared more than 9% since last year. That's the biggest 12-month increase since 1981.
The housing market has entered a recession.
According to newly released data from U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, there have been more than 2 million apprehensions so far this fiscal year, which runs until the end of the month. That total already far surpasses the 1.6 million apprehensions the federal government reported last year, which had set the prior record.
For the first time ever, the average price of gas nationwide has hit an unprecedented $5 a gallon.
Fears this morning over the new recession forecast, chances hitting 100%.
Well, we're getting down to the wire, and far and away the two biggest issues in this country are the economy and inflation. As much as they try to push the wedge issues on us, it seems that people are a little more concerned with whether or not they can pay their fucking bills. So what are the possibilities we're looking at here moving forward? Well, I'd say one would be that this red wave just happens and the slim majority that the Democrats hold in the House is gone, and maybe even the Senate. And if that happens, you can expect the neocon rhino wing of the party to do everything they can to go back to talk big and do nothing politics, and they'll be focused more on escalating the ongoing wars and conflicts we have going on rather than push back against the administration. There's also the possibility that we're about to see some massive, open, plain as day. Things are getting to the point where they really don't even seem to give a fuck how openly corrupt things are. But for the people that believe that is what's gonna happen, that's still not a reason not to vote. Because if you don't vote, then they don't even have to. Because you'll just hand it to them. Make the bastards work for it. And of course, another possibility is that there's some kind of black swan event in the next 2 weeks that makes the election have to get postponed and suspended. And there's a lot of forms this could take. Everything from a hack attack on the power grid or the financial and economic systems, all the way up to a major escalation in the war in Ukraine, including an EMP or nuclear exchange. As for which way this ends up going, I don't know. I don't have crystal balls. I have plastic balls. All I can do is look at the possibilities and the probabilities and prepare myself accordingly. And hopefully you're out there doing the same. Sláinte.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word. And I don't break them for no one. You understand? So say good night to the bad guy. 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 I told you! Don't fuck with me! I told you! Don't fuck with me! You stupid fuck! Look at you now! Look at you now!